and welcome to the latest episode of New Londinium 1910, which is my steampunk playthrough of heavily modded Minecraft. So just looking at that screen there, you can see all sorts of things that don't jibe with vanilla Minecraft, and that's just the way it is around here. But thank you for joining me on my little adventure today. Just to review, or if you're new, the New Londinium project is a big project. It's gonna be huge, and it's gonna take a lot of work. And where we are now, oh good, my trees are ready. Where we are now is what I've been calling the Manor House, and this is actually going to be my base of operations for a while we work on New Londinium. So I'm still working on this base. I've been working on the storage system for a long time, but right now I need a clock. I need a clock to know what time it is. So in this episode, I'm not going to focus only on storage, but we want to make another pass through. Ooh. I'm trying to find stuff to put into storage downstairs, and that's when I found this tea blossom. And this is that tea blossom's important because of the second thing I want to do today, which is build a windmill. Now, if you've seen my From the Rubble series, and if you saw the episode where we built the windmill, we had exactly the same problem that we do here, which is to make a windmill and create. Technically, you don't need super glue, but if you want it to look good, you're going to need super glue. And making super glue is not that difficult. It requires an iron plate, an iron nugget, and 2 slime balls. But see, it's the slime balls that get me, because the slime balls require a dough, which is easy, and light green dye, which doesn't sound hard. But to get light green dye, you need green dye at some point. And in vanilla Minecraft, your only chance at green dye is cactus. And then with mods, you may be able to mix blue and yellow or get green in another way. And in this case, the get green in another way, besides sea pickles, which will give you light green directly, this tea, right? This is a tea blossom. You plant it, and I think you get like tea leaves or something, but from the Let's Do mod, Let's Do mod family. I don't know which one it is. I think it's herbal. So anyway, then you put that into a smoker, and then you get green dye. So finding this actually will help speed things along, and that's good. So we'll go plop this down and let it start growing. I think I only need 1 to make my super glue, but we can start growing more than that. In the meanwhile, it's time to chop some wood. Now, we're not going to finish storage this run, right? Storage is still, I'm guessing, 2 to 3 episodes away from being completed, but we are much closer than we were before. And technically, I think that maybe the storage that we've put in place on the top level of the basement could probably work all by itself. I say probably because the way I implement storage drawers, the storage drawers mod, is I implement all the drawers as a single drawer, which holds a single commodity. Now, it holds an insane amount of a single commodity, and you can upgrade that to hold an even more insane amount of a commodity. So that's why I do it. It keeps things simple. But even with all the drawers I've already placed in the upper level of the basement, you have to remember that unmodded Minecraft, vanilla Minecraft, has over, I think, 400 different items that you can find, harvest, make, whatever. So that's vanilla Minecraft, and this is about as unvanilla as it gets. So, there are a few mods that add thousands of items just from that one mod. Now, I am not going to have to store every single item from every single mod. that being said, I am going to store a lot of stuff from a lot of them. So having the second level of storage, I think, won't be a necessity in the near term, but will probably be a necessity at some point in the future. So let's just get it done now. Anyway, so that's that. And it's interesting because I started building storage on this world first compared to Greifenhorst and From the Rubble. And truth be told, I'm just on the verge of doing formal storage for Greifenhorst, and I'm just behind that for From the Rubble. So everybody's catching up. But when it comes to what do we do after that, well, that's why I want the windmill, right? I knew that I was going to need to work on the dormers, right? Those are the little parts, the windows and roofs that stick out of the main roof of the house. And I told you for a long time now that I want to add dormers to the roof of our manor house. But that's going to require some white concrete. White concrete's going to require sand and gravel, and I need to go get a bunch. And I guess I could just go out and get some, but that would be a big, long journey, try to find it someplace, gather it. And realistically, that's the type of work that we would need to be able to do on a continuous basis without going to go find it. And that is possible through the crate mod. So if I create the windmill, I can create a millstone to make gravel and eventually make the grinding wheels to make sand as well. I can make all the concrete stuff I want, and plus we can create cobblestone generators to facilitate that. So we have an unlimited supply of cobblestone. That would in turn would give us an unlimited supply of sand and gravel. And also I could use the same generators. There's a mod called cobblestone, create cobblestone, and it will let me make a deep slate generator. Now that's important because New Londinium, this one, and Greifenhorst both have large building projects that are going to require a mess of deep slate. In fact, New Londinium itself is going to require an insane amount of deep slate. And when I say insane, just bear in mind, New Londinium as a city, it's not completely uniform in shape, but it does stretch all the way down to bedrock. And at its widest, which is at the surface, at sea level, it is just over a kilometer wide. Right? So that's big. And all that infrastructure is going to be built using deep slate of some flavor. So that's a lot of deep slate. That's certainly more than I'm going to excavate from digging out the same space. So we need to generate it, and that's where the generation will come from. So looking forward to that. Actually, I'm looking forward to the whole project. Now, that being said, like I said, the city is going to be a kilometer wide at sea level, and I've already staked out where that kilometer is, and it's going to completely engulf the current village or town of Twin Spires. So, starting last episode, I've started, depending on your phrasing you want to use, whether kidnapping or moving refugees, but the bottom line is I'm taking people out of that town and moving them to another village to get them out of the construction zone. So that has already started, and we'll continue with that. So I'm really looking forward to that. Now, another thing I would like to point out is now that I have a lot of unexpected and unwanted free time, more than I used to have, I want to take another stab at live streaming. Now, these initial live streams to get my feet wet will be unannounced and very much ad hoc. But now that I'm starting to work on ancillary bits of these projects, which is stuff that's kind of outside the game itself, I'll be working on the plans. I'll be drafting new textures for villagers, plus new profession trades, new textures with those, interactive maps, and of course the plans themselves. I'd like to share with you what I'm doing with that stuff as I do it. I mean, and for some of you who are interested in modding or planning, or who share OCD with me, I mean, there's a lot of different people that may find value in this. So that's what I'll do. But those plans, that's something we should talk about here, because there's been some revelations. Or I guess since it was just me, it's more like epiphanies. But it works like this. First of all, I noticed about a month ago that I went to open up the plan for this world, New Londinium, and I couldn't find it anywhere. It was gone. And that's bad. So I was lucky in that I had showed some stills of the plan in my episode 0 of this series, so I was able to go back to those stills, and using that information I was able to start rebuilding a plan. So the New Londinium plan, the core bits are done, restored I guess you can say, but all the nitty-gritty details that were there before are lost. Some of them I've started rebuilding, but I can do more, and I will do more, and that's some of the stuff I'll share with you. Greifenhorst and From the Rubble are interesting because as I've been working through those series, like I am here, they have a slightly different mod mix, and in both cases they here I'm using pure storage drawers, and I have the create mod. So, and now if I ever get a chance to have the latest bits of create mod, there is a lot more storage centric functionality there. So that might be my combo eventually, but right now it's pretty much just storage drawers, and that gives me certain options, and I'm already setting things up and using those. But From the Rubble and Greifenhorst, I teamed up storage drawers with some other mods. Like in the case of Greifenhorst, storage drawers are teamed up with Ars Nouveau, and in the case of From the Rubble, I teamed it up with refined storage, and so both of those add some very interesting aspects to my storage plan. And my original designs for the base, for the levels, didn't really take those into consideration. So, and there's kind of like an extrapolation, right? Once you change those levels, how they're laid out, where they're laid out, where they're focused, then the nearby levels and other parts of the base kind of need or should realign with those. So in this case, I kind of need to go through all those plans from scratch and think my way through it, and then modify them accordingly. And so that's something I think I will start doing very soon, and I will do in this shared live stream format. So either you can get a glimpse as to just how incredibly nerdy I am, or you can get some ideas and tips for exercising your own inner nerd. It just depends on where you fall on the spectrum, I guess. But that will be happening here soon. Anyway, another thing I'll note is we have a lava pool just like about 20 yards, 30 yards from here, or meters. And when I was ferrying villagers from Twin Spires to the new place, I kept passing it, and it got me. I made a joke at one point. I said, "And here's our very superheated pool." Now that's a joke, but then I thought about it and I said, you know what? If I got the lava out of there, that would make a pretty cool pool. Not like a swimming pool, but more like a pond, right? That you could, plant trees around, kind of make it into the core of a little park space. So I got that on my mind too. I'm really, really digging that because, as on the other side of the house, we started fleshing out that space in anticipation of building the windmill. And, there will be a barn and animal pens and a lot of other stuff. But, now I'm kind of settling in and making this all nice. So now the creative juices are flowing. And with that said, even on this side where we got the fields, there's some ideas I have for expanding the gardens using a terraced design. And so we'll probably do that too. These gardens will not be automated. We'll keep a manual, but once we get to the point where we're doing agriculture in New Londinium itself, the steampunk part is really going to come to play. And that means things like farming and stuff will be automated in a fairly primitive type of way. And now that I just put those trees up there, I just realized I didn't have to go to that specific drawer. I could have done that from my drop-off cabinet, but I got me yakking and I forgot. So I got a bunch of wood, but before I convert that wood into storage drawers, I need to knock all the bark off of it. That bark's useful stuff. I use it for generating that rich soil, and some of it I use to generate bone meal, which is also used in the rich soil and for growing stuff. It's just useful material. So in the past, when I would do a logging run like this, I would get about half as many logs as I have now. And that's just because I'm doing these logging runs pretty frequently. But in the last episode, I spent a lot of time ferrying villagers, and that bought time for my dark oak trees. So we had a lot of trees to cut down today, and now when I started cutting and I was looking at the close to 400 logs, it's like holy moly. But even that being said, it's still going to take 2 or 3 episodes to finish the storage. As I envision it now, and hopefully we'll have the windmill up and running before then, and we'll have some machines in place before then. That kind of reminds me, another thing about the manor house is, about this whole world in general, right? There's things I want to do, there's things I want to make, and a lot of that is functional stuff. I want to create automated farms, I want to create, transportation systems and such, but that's all functional stuff, but it's not just about creating something and it works and leaving it, right? It's very much about the design, the look and feel, right? I mean, like, I'm specifically going for a steampunk world, so there are specific elements of that I'm after. And to that end, right now, this this house is basically just a shell, and the area I'm working in is very slapdash. Very slapdash. Do not think for a second that this is how it's supposed to be. It's not. It's kind of like when you first move into a house. Like when you move into your first house or apartment and you don't have hardly any furniture of your own. That's what that is, right? You put everything in the living room and, you know, and all the rooms are empty and stuff. That's what this is. Now, once the storage is out of the way, the rest of the house should be mostly cleared up. And then we'll get those dormers in. And then the shell of the house is essentially done. There's some outside stuff to do, but for the most part, then it's a matter of furnishing the inside. And, you know, what we're after is giving it, well, I hesitate to use the word realistic, but we are certainly giving it a more realistic kind of view. Like it's lived in, like this, like if you lived in the Minecraft world, this would be a functional place that you could live and thrive. So, you know, I got ideas for kitchens and living rooms, dining rooms, all that, you know, moving the enchantment table. Well, it's infuser now, but, you know, all that type of stuff. So that's all good stuff. And, you know, I have a lot of mods to help with that, right? There's, Fantasy's Furniture, which is kind of an unusual mod in itself, but some of the things you can produce with it are wonderful. I mean, really, really wonderful. There's Abyssal Decor, which is by the name, right? You can tell it's kind of geared more toward kind of a horror thing, you know, more like a H.P. Lovecraft type of theme, but that same theme works wonderfully well for Victorian era, steampunk, all that type of stuff. So there's some great stuff to be found there. And you know, this is all stuff that we can use to give our internal spaces real character, right? Kind of flesh it out. And I'm really looking forward to that. I hope you are too. Quite frankly, I always thought that that's at the point I would have nobody watching this series until I got to that point, right? So if you're watching this now and you have been watching already, not only am I truly appreciative, and I really want to thank you, it was kind of surprising, right? Because I you know, you come into content generation with a lot of preconceived notions about what people like and don't like, and therefore what you have to produce or not produce. And some of them are right, and a lot of them are wrong, right? And I think that's, I mean, I won't go into too much detail there, but, you know, part of what I do as a content creator is I pay attention to what my other creators are doing. And I've noticed, I've seen some really great small channels. Some were smaller than mine, some are a little bit larger than mine. They were putting out some really great stuff, right? Stuff that I loved. And now they're the you know, it's been 3, 6, 7 months, a year since they last put out a video. It's like they're gone, right? They're just done. And, you know, it could have been life, right? I mean, you know, new baby, got married, lost your job, something like that. But I think that in a non-trivial number of those cases, and this is conjecture on my part, I don't know, I don't have a crystal ball or anything, but I think they just gave up. I think they just said, wow, I'm putting all this work in, and, you know, I'm still getting like 24 views on a video, or screw it, I'm going home. I really truly believe that a lot of people are doing that. And it's too bad, because like I said, they were doing great work. I loved it. I watched it. I liked it. You know, I did everything I could to support it. But in the end, let me just tell you, if in the end, if you're not doing this for the love of doing it, you're going to be in trouble. Because if you're in it like, because you want to get monetization, you want to make a business out of it, there's nothing wrong with that. But if that's pretty much your only goal, well, you have a second set of challenges. When, because you watch all these channels and stuff where they talk about, how to start your Minecraft, not your Minecraft, your YouTube channel and stuff. I think a lot of people come into this with this idea that it's easy, and that, within a few weeks or a few months, they'll be making money, and within a year they'll be making big bucks or whatever, and they can quit their job, their day job, and everything will be hunky-dory. Well, I think the basic premise is sound. What's not sound is your time frame, right? I think I think you can make a go of this. It's just going to take a whole lot longer than you think it does. And that's been my experience. But then again, I started the channel, I originally started the channel thinking it would never even be possible for me to get monetized. And again, if you've been watching up to this point, not only have you proven me wrong, you enabled this channel to get monetized. So thank you. Like you can't possibly know how much I thank you for that. But truly, thank you. And it's giving me ideas. But the thing is I think anybody can succeed at the YouTube game. It's just for some people it's going to be a bit harder than others, and for the vast majority of people it's going to take much longer than you want it to. You know what? Looking at the number of drawers I still need, that's not much. So I think maybe we'll be able to finish the storage effort next episode and then concentrate on other stuff. So good. But yeah, I think that's just a common problem, because I think I've mentioned it at other times. I make the type of YouTube videos that I want to watch, and part of that is because I don't think there was enough people making the type of videos I want to watch. There's a few. It needs a block of iron, which I got, and it needs well, I'm going to need to make a bunch of andesite anyway. To make andesite, I'm going to need iron or zinc. I'd prefer to use zinc, and I got quite a bit of that. And I seem to be missing andesite. I mean, andesite alloy is a clue that you need andesite. And somehow I can't explain it to you. I don't seem to have any. I have granite, I have diorite, I have blackstone, I have a bunch of stone from a bunch of mods, but somehow I don't have any andesite. I cannot explain that to you. I cannot. Let me just make sure that I didn't start storing it down here, because that's possible. I sometimes forget things at my age. So nope, cobblestone and deep slate and regular stone, that's all I got there. So I do not have andesite, which kind of puts a monkey wrench or a spanner, depending on where you're from, in the plans. It kind of screws me up. Well, shoot. Well, sports fans, so I guess we'll put the iron back, we'll put the zinc back, and we'll go get andesite. It's not like I'm trying to go find the Holy Grail. I should be able to find andesite fairly easily. It's just like, well, looking at the clock, I'm about halfway through this episode, and now I got to go on a field trip. I've done this before with varying degrees of success, but Make sure I have a decent sword. Because I'm going to have to go in caves, and caves aren't necessarily the kindest or gentlest environment to hang out in. Okay, contact. And let's go. Let's go find a cave. There should be any number of them. And whoa! Right there! Right there! I wasn't even at cruising altitude yet. Okay, go back. Go back. Part the jet. See, don't you think that lava pool would make a great water pool? Right? Am I right? I know I'm right. Which is one of my wife's catchphrases. Oh, it's so true. It's so true. Okay. Let's see. So, let's go drop into this hole here. Where is it? Oh, here it is. It's kind of a deep hole. No, I'm not drunk. I'm on teetering on the edge of something. Yeah, I might need more ladders in this. Almost certainly, if this thing's as steep as it looks. Huh, they took that out. Okay, so how about this? This is, yep, this will give me my oak ladder. One of the least goofy looking ladders in my repertoire. Oh gosh, this looks like it's going to be a deep one. And probably full of bad guys. Do I set up an escape route ahead of time? That would be the prudent thing. But, you know, prudence not always interesting. And, ooh, we got some zinc over here. I got to use my diamond pickaxe for that. And let's kind of put stuff away. Whoa! That is a lot of copper. I didn't realize I picked up that much copper in that short a time. Wowzers. Man, we're going to have to like make everything out of copper. Make the door out of copper. Make the floors out of copper. Make sandwiches out of copper. It's a lot of copper. So I see diorite. I see stars. I see granite. I see blue stuff. Glowing moss block. Okay. I see iron. But then, oh, and I see andesite. So, I told you it wouldn't take long. Just at this point, you know, any non-zero value is still non-zero. Takes time. Now, whoa, 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 whoa! I'm awash. So I do have another series that isn't a Let's Play. It is, wow, it's water behind that water. Not totally surprising, I guess, but there is another series I do besides my Let's Plays, and that is my mod deep dives. And the last episode I did with one of those was the first episode, in which will be a mini series, because normally these are standalone videos, but the create mod is just too freaking big to do in one video, right? I mean, if I wasn't still working on the one big video, you'd probably still be watching the one big video. It's just a lot of information. So I broke it up, and the first part's out there, and it just basically talks about the very, very basics of the mod and the intricacies of power generation and transmission. But one of the things I said in that is there's no such thing in a world where you use the crate mod, if you really use it. There's no such thing as too much andesite alloy. There's just no. You give me, 40,000 ingots of andesite alloy, and it might take me a while, but I can guarantee you, I can find a use for every single ingot. It'll be used, and so I'm really surprised that I got this far in the game, and I hadn't accumulated a bunch of andesite already, or even started making alloy. I mean, there's no point in making alloy until you're ready to use it, and realistically, you only use it for crate-based automation. But still. And like I said, there's really no such thing as too much. So I know I can see my hotbar. I have at least one full stack. I like to get like at least 2, maybe 3 or 4. Right? Incredibly useful stuff. There's some stuff from another mod. Probably blocks you need. Okay. I think that's good for now. I got this iron here, and I see there's more zinc down there. So let's grab that stuff. So I had almost 3 full stacks. Almost. Not quite. Helps if you actually use the pick. Ah. Switch back to my diamond pick for this. Oh. So that was nice, tidy little sum. Oh, and there's some more, and some more, and some more, and that's enough. Oh, and then more andesite. Wow, see, it never rains, it pours. Didn't have any. Oh, speaking of rain and pouring, you can do a lot more pouring than that. That's fine. Anyhow, I got all the bits I need for now. Oh, I hear skeleton, Mr. Bones. So let's get out of here. In the immortal words of Biff, why don't you make like a tree and get out of here? Oh gosh, those were great movies. Well, I'm a bit of a Steven Spielberg fanboy, so I really, and I mean, I think it was Zemeckis that actually did the directing of those, but you know, Spielberg really has a great way of, I'm pretty sure Spielberg was involved, and he has a great way, even when he's not the director and he's a producer, he puts together some great teams that produce some great stuff. I mean, don't forget, you know, he helped invent Indiana Jones, right? And of course, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I mean, Jaws is good. I enjoy Jaws, but Close Encounters of the Third Kind, man, that's my jam. And you know, the funny thing is, when he did that movie, so that came out, I believe, in '78, and when it came out, I was 10. I wasn't quite 11 yet. My parents had just been divorced the year before, and the whole premise of aliens, specifically aliens that would like invade your house and kidnap you, that just freaked the living dog snot out of me. it scared the bejesus out of me. But so I found the movie hard to watch, and of course my dad was fascinated with it. And you know, one of the times he had custody of us, he took us to the movies to watch that, and then, you know, freaked me out. But I came to really appreciate the movie. So the zinc alloy, from the zinc side, is very cost effective, right? 2 nuggets to 2 andesite blocks. But from the andesite side, it's kind of expensive. So, but I got enough here to keep me going for a while. Anyway, Close Encounters. When I was in my teens, you know, I'd watch it on video, and then I grew to love it. I absolutely love it. And what's more, because of the time and place it was made, it is like a time capsule of the late 70s. So it makes me nostalgic. So there's this movie I love, plus it makes me nostalgic. And back when my girls were very small and my wife was taking them back home to the old country for a few weeks each summer, I was left on my own. And Close Encounters of the Third Kind was always a summer movie for me. So it just became a personal tradition that at some point during the summer, during the hottest part of the year, I would watch Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, they have these hot summer nights where people have their windows open and, you know, screen doors latched, and these aliens come by and abduct people, which this is all part of the appeal of watching it during the hottest part of the summer at night with the screen doors all open and latched. You know, it's now, and I guess now that I say this out loud, I'm guessing that folks who love horror movies, this is their jam. This is what they love about the horror movies, right? Is you watch a horror movie that takes place in a hot summer night, and you watch it on a hot summer night, and that just heightens the whole spook factor. Well, I'm not a big fan of horror at all, and yet now that I mention it, I can see where the appeal of horror is, right? Because everything I just described about Close Encounters, there it is. Yeah, I used up all my wood with the storage drawer, so I need more wood for lots of stuff, but like for the casings that I'm gonna have to make and just stuff. So I'm not gonna do any drawers with these. This is working wood, if there is such a thing. Working logs. That was a less popular toy line. Lincoln Logs got all the credit. Working Logs, not so much. Working Logs never existed, so let me just tell you up front. Lincoln Logs did, but I don't know if anybody knows. I mean, you got to be fairly old, and I am, but you got to be fairly old to know or understand what Lincoln Logs were or are. I don't think they make them anymore. That'll be interesting. So, you know, after I put these together, I also put together the show notes. There's the video description that goes on YouTube, but that points to my website. And on my website, I have a page for every episode, and I talk about the stuff I talked about, right? So if I talk about something like Lincoln Logs, which I am, then on the page for the episode, I will look up what happened with Lincoln Logs, and I'll talk a bit about that and give you links so you can learn more. So, what was that noise? That sounded potentially hazardous. Anyway, because, there's a couple different things. One, I know and truly appreciate that a large number of you don't live in the United States. So when I talk about things like peanut butter or, a particular restaurant that is pretty easily found in the U.S., you might not know what in the world I'm talking about. I get that. So that's part of what I put those notes on. But there's another side of it too, which is I'm an old fart, and a lot of you are not. So there's also things I could talk about, like maybe Close Encounters of the Third Kind. You may have never heard of that. right? I mean, come on, it came out in 1978, and a number of you weren't even born until after 2000. So it wouldn't be entirely surprising if you didn't understand it. So of course I'll put links to that too, so you can go see what that's all about. It's very interesting. Good stuff. And of course my axe breaks with just 3 logs left. Okay, well, now it's like practically brand new. So you plop one down and you hit it with a alloy, and it's a casing. Just in case you were interested. And then we can take this and top it off with this, and there's our mechanical press. Now, to get a mechanical press to work, you're going to have to power it. And in this case, surprisingly, you can power it with a hand crank. Just like the puddle jumper, if you use the hand crank, just have a lot of food handy. Especially if you're going to do a lot of hand cranking. I won't be doing that much. I don't think. Let me think. No, I think that'll do it. I think I only need one iron plate and 1 iron nuggets. But it's iron plate that we got to make the mechanical press for. So that should do it. Let me see. Yeah, just one iron plate, 2 slime balls, and an iron nugget. So I'm gonna get that because we're gonna have to get that tea going so that we can get our slime balls. Right? I need the light green dye, and so there we go. So it's already mature. I don't have any space in storage. So let's move some stuff. And then hit this. Get ready to bone meal it. And what I get? I get 2 tea blossoms. So tea blossom. So now that doubled our potential output. Good. And now we gotta put these tea leaves in a smoker, but I don't have a smoker, so I gotta make a smoker. Like so. Make a furnace. And then I got these logs now, and that's not it. What is the formula? Just show me. Just show me what to do. Okay, I should have guessed that. That's pretty obvious. Okay, my bad. So then we put something in there, and green tea leaves, and it's smoking, and there you go. We should have a green dye in no time. And then I'll combine the green dye for white dye, and that'll give me my light green dye, and we should be good to go at that point. Now we'll take our mechanical press and mount it on the side of this casing, like so. And then I'm going to take this hand crank and some food. I'm going to put the hand crank on, like so. Then grab my green dye. And now I'm going to get that iron nugget I had, or ingot I had, and throw it on the floor underneath this hand stamp. While I'm at it, let's get this other stuff situated. That's divisible by 8. That's divisible by 8. Yeah. And that's divisible by 9. So this can make 6 blocks, like so. Let's put that iron nugget under here before I get too distracted. So there it is. Go over here, turn the crank. Done. And then we can tear this all down. I mean, we will use it again, but not here. This is just strictly temporary to get the glue, right? So then there's my iron nugget. Now I just need slime balls. And I can make my light green dye like so. So I have the white dye, I have the green dye, 2 light green dye, which is exactly what I'll need because I need to make 2 slime balls. And to make a slime ball, I need what? So I need dough and dye. I got the dye. To make the dough, I just need some wheat and a bucket of water. Well, there's a bucket of water. I just go get some wheat. We got wheat. And since I'm down here, let's go ahead and take some of the weird stuff I have in my backpack and throw it into our storage system. So that's off just being distributed. And the stone types are in the level below. So I've got deep slate and regular stone. So let's go ahead and take the andesite and put it over here. And we'll put the granite and the diorite with it when the time comes. Diorite, even to this day, when I say it, I think diet right, which was a popular diet soda when I was a kid. It's amazing how advertising from 40 or 50 years ago can still stick in your brain. That gave me 3 dough, which means I really don't need any more. Hold on, let me make 2 of those. I really don't need any more dough. So now to make the glue, yeah, I got all the bits. So glue, check. Yeah, it's a good thing I was able to make those slime balls, because otherwise I'd be stuck trying to make the glue. So this windmill bearing is going to require a piece of stone and a slab. I don't think calcite will work, but I got calcite on me, so let's see if that works. Anyone? So let's, oops. There we go. So let's see. How did it work? Stone. Oh, it says it says the calcite's not going to work. Nope, that's not. I thought that was granite. It's dirt. This. Okay, let's grab a diorite and diorite. Let's go ahead and try it with this. There you go. Now, the big, when we set up our windmill in, from the rubble, I built it, but it's not at its maximum size, right? The maximum size would be 128 sails on a given windmill. And it's big, but it's like in the 80 range or something like that. And, maybe 100. It's not full size. I would like to do this one full size from the get-go. So I'm going to need 128 sails, and to make 2 sails, I need 2 sticks, 1 andesite alloy, and one block of wool. And you know, for since I get 2 out of that, I need 64 blocks of wool. Now you've noticed I don't have a sheep. Don't have a sheep yet. Don't even have 2 sheep. But what I do have is the flax plant from the supplementaries mod. These things. And of course I got a lot of them. So the reason behind my madness is that, first of all, I like the idea of the flax plants that we can basically get string and wool from, so without sheep. So there's that. That's a big plus. Another thing I like is the fact that usually these flax plants, you can, when you harvest them with a knife from Farmer's Delight, you will get straw also from Farmer's Delight. And that straw is then also the third key component in creating that rich soil. So if you get that straw, you make some rich straw, you start growing your flax on it and wheat, then you cut that stuff down with a knife, you get more straw, which allows you to make more rich soil, which allows you to grow more stuff faster, and depending on what you plant, you could get more straw, and then it's a feedback loop, right? So that's why, if you notice, that's why my flax and my wheat are in rich soil, because they also generate straw. And that'll allow me to accelerate the growth of all the other crops. I got a lot of copper. And for a steampunk world, that's perfectly okay. The thing is like in the crate mod, there's not, well, except for making brass, I think, there's not a lot to do with the copper. Now, some of the create add-ons I have, they give you stuff to do with the copper, like catwalks and stuff, so we'll use that where possible. But for steampunk, you know, the two biggest classical metals would be iron and brass. And as we write this, they have started season 3 of The Gilded Age. It's a show on HBO Max, and it's from the same people who brought you Downton Abbey, but instead of taking place in the first 2 or 3 decades of the 20th century in England, it takes place in the 1880s in the U.S. And oh, it's a great series. You know, I'm all big for historical dramas. Totally. I'm a history buff, right? So all that stuff is right down my alley. I got so I'm halfway to my sale quota, and I have 15 wool. So I need 32 wool to make another 64 sales, which will be what I need for the maximum windmill size. It's kind of like close to time now, but I think if we grab, if we grab some bone meal and stuff, I think we can accelerate the growth of everything, so that maybe we can get all the pieces done this episode. Maybe. I mean, we're not going to build the windmill this episode. We don't have time for that. But I think I can get us close enough to where we're, next episode we can just start making the windmill. Be done with it. Of course, I won't. I'll go back to making storage shorts and finish that up, and then make the windmill. But that means we'd have 2 major accomplishments in the same episode. I'm all for that. So let's grab. I'm gonna need to make 32 blocks of wool, or to get 32 blocks of wool, I need to make 15. Let's just grab all the bone meal. And the thing is that the flax has lots of stages, so it's going to be very rare that you can hit a baby flax plant and get it to go straight to mature with one bone meal hit. But look for the ones with the blue flowers. They're done. And then we replant. I gotta clear some space here. Hold on. That can go, and that can go. That should be enough. So then we replant in those spots. But I mean, you can see I just harvested these a few minutes ago, and I already had 6 at full grown, right? So now I have 18 blocks of wool. So now I only need 14 more. And you see we have some that are really close to being done. So they're done. Oh, I think I was onto something, but I think I got it slightly wrong. Well, let me replant these. I think the way to go about this is not hitting the tall ones with bone meal. I think maybe the way to go about this is maybe to hit the short ones with bone meal and then let the soil take it the rest of the way, right? This rich soil. So I think that's the best use of the bone meal to get the most yield in the shortest amount of time. Right. Look, so this is already netting me some results here. And that gives me enough for another block. So now I just need 12. There's another one. So you can see just how powerful this this rich soil is, right? And if you have an automated farm, you can generate crazy amounts of stuff in a short period of time with a relatively small field, right? So, ooh, another one. The thing is, oh, there's one. The thing is as accelerated as this is, it's still not accelerated enough, right, to try to finish this up within this episode. I now need 11 more blocks. That's 44 more flax. I think it's just too much. Yep, it's just too much. We'll get to it next time. And I think that's probably a good stopping point for the episode, right? So anyhow, I didn't get as much done as I would have hoped, but I did get quite a bit done. We're within shooting distance of the finishing up the storage effort, so that's a big plus. We're also within shooting distance, maybe even spitting distance of having everything we need for a full size, full capacity windmill, right? And both of those should be very doable in a single episode. The windmill will take the most time because, I want it to look nice. But that'll be over here in the yard, right where you see that hole, because I left the hole to mark the spot. But we will expand this area over here anyway. And that's it. I think it'll be great. And I hope you enjoyed your time here with me today. I enjoyed my time with you. But in the meanwhile, I hope this finds you and yours in good health and good spirits, and perhaps a touch of good fortune. Cheers.